I'm Jeff Kirkchin, and welcome to another edition of Do What You Love. And today's guest is, well, kind of become a friend because I work in country music, and I got to share one of his biggest career moments with him while we were both drinking a beer. It's kind of a cool story. We're going to get to that and more, but first, let's introduce Jordan Davis, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
Jordan, thank you so much. Congrats on your success and all that you've done. And, you look great. The new music is coming out and it sounds great. I mean, after this year and a half to be coming out with a fire song like Buy Dirt, you're feeling great right now, aren't you?
Yeah, man, we're excited. That was, one of the positives of the pandemic was it gave us time to really write a lot of music and kind of get it ready for whenever we could get back start playing. So yeah, we released 2 EPs and having Luke jump on By Dirt with me was the kind of cherry on top. So
Yeah,
we tried to
we need to get into that. So when an artist, for those that don't know, and I don't even know, even as a country host, when like Luke Bryan, huge, jumps on your song Buy Dirt, how does that conversation come about? And you can go inside baseball with me. Are you texting him saying, hey, dude, I got this fire record and I want you to be on it? Is that the way it came down?
Yeah, I actually did. I texted him the song. And so we had written, I've met Luke before this and we're on the same label. So I really got to hang with him after a round of golf one day. That's when I got his number. And so, big day for me. Thanks, Luke. But man, we were writing songs at a writer's retreat, and we finished By Dirt, and we thought for a second about just pitching it to him because I knew he was writing for a new record, and I didn't know when I was going to record again. So we thought about pitching it to him, and then I just kept listening to it, and I was like, man, I can't let go of this song. But then after having him on it, or in my mind, I was like, man, what if I just see if he would want to sing on it with me? And that's when I got the idea. Just like, I know that there is a way to go through, like, you can send it to his manager. There's different ways to get the song to him. But man, I just knew that he would relate to this song. And I did. I shot it to him in a text message and told him to listen to it and told him how much it meant to me and what it would mean to me to have him on it. And man, he got right back to me and the rest was history.
Wow, Jordan, see that I think is what makes country so special. Before I did country music, I worked in pop radio. And I don't have any issues with pop artists or anything like that, but I feel like there's so much more of an intimacy between the artists, between radio, and between the fans when it comes to country music. It's just a different world.
Yeah. And I think too, like, yeah, I mean, we're here because of the fans. And I really do feel like there's a connection with the fans and more in country music than anything. And then for me, I grew up a nephew of a songwriter. My dad was a songwriter. My brother's a songwriter. And the goal was to have songs on country radio. So like, it's still, I tell people all the time, it's like, it never gets old on the radio. Like you can go play your song wherever, but when you're driving in a car and you're listening to a radio station and Slow Dance in a Parking Lot comes on or Buy Dirt comes on, that's like the pinnacle of like why you moved to Nashville. So like for me, that's always like really, really special.
That's the tops. Well, for people listening or watching the podcast here, I have a little clip of Buy Dirt with your live performance. This was awesome. Let's take a look.
Do what you love, but call it work. Throw a little money in a plate, it serves.
I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed with this song. And I have to tell you, Jordan, how this came about. Your good buddy, Ransom Garcia, is my music director at 102.7 Coyote Country. And I had a 10th birthday for my dog. Yeah, me and my fiance were that couple. And
Great.
He said, have you heard Jordan Davis's new song? And I said, Buy Dirt, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, no, dude, honestly, it was just on my phone, and I was just going to take a listen to it, but I was getting set up. Let's play it. We have a party over. We turn it on, and there's this line. Do what you love and call it work. Yeah. And as you can tell, this podcast is called Do What You Love. I'm doing it right now. I do it every day. And I end every show with always remember to do what you love. And Ransom played the song for me loud on my speakers at home. We had a bunch of people. And we listened to the whole thing. Love listening to music with other people because you get their reaction. You get to see we got a bunch of country fans at this party. We're just hanging out. And Ransom looks at me and says, "What'd you think?" And I said, "I love that line. Do what you love and call it work." I mean, that's like my life motto. And he says, "Well, yeah, because of that, I texted Jordan and he's going to join your podcast." And I like almost low-key cried because for him to just pull a friend move like that was so cool. I mean, it was so sweet of him, honestly.
Dude, Ransom's the man. I mean, that's like, that doesn't shock me one bit, dude. He's one of the best out there. And yeah, man, I was more than happy to jump on here, man. This is awesome.
Jordan Davis on Do What You Love. Now, you mentioned that Luke Bryan's on the song Buy Dirt. It's great. We're playing it on our radio station here in Las Vegas, and I encourage anybody who's a country music programmer out there, you should add it as well if you haven't already. But you were out playing golf with Luke Bryan. Was it just the two of you? Was there a foursome involved? Like, I'm a big golfer, so it's all about the environment you put yourself in and the players you play with.
Yeah. No, so I think I was playing with my buddy Brian from the label.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Party was in the group in front of us. My buddy Will Stelly, who's out at the course. So I guess I would be like the singer of our group, and then Party was in front of us, and then Luke kind of jumped on last minute. So I was like, actually, a putt, and my putter's purple and gold because I'm an LSU fan. And I was about to hit a putt, and I just hear this guy behind me being like, "God, that's an ugly putter." And I was like, "Yeah, I sound like Luke Bryan." I turned around, it was Luke. So that was like the first I heard from him that day. But yeah, so we didn't play together that day. But like, what was actually cool though, because after the round, we were all sitting around like, having post golf beers, and his son had hit a hole in one that day. So they were all kind of celebrating that, and then he was just in a good mood, and it was just cool to get to sit and talk to him. But the thing I remember about that first meeting with Luke is like, we had met at some award shows, at like post party award shows, just with Universal, our label. But it's kind of tough to really like talk to anybody at those, or like dive into any kind of conversation that means anything. Not that I didn't enjoy the conversation we had, but like, having beers with him, we were able to talk about like, family, like hobbies, everything but music. That's kind of what I took away from that. That post round hang was just like, dude, how real Luke is, and like, how down to earth it. Like everybody always, now song out, everybody's like, "Man, dude, how's Luke in real life?" And it's like, dude, he's exactly the guy that you think he is. Like, there's nothing fake there. He's just a good guy that's about faith, family, and his friends, and having a good time, and that's I really think that's why Buy Dirt really spoke to him.
Yeah, well, I think the song is great. I think you hit on a really good point there that not a lot of people realize, is that our artists, our favorite artists, our celebrities, whatever you name them, they're real people, and they got real lives, they got real families, they got real problems, they got bills, they got everything else that we have. And you mentioned your hobbies and everything. You're back to performing now, you're back to putting out music, but during quarantine, was Jordan Davis picking up any hobbies? Were you doing anything different? Did you find yourself learning something new?
So I definitely, like, I'm a aspiring woodworker. Like, I really want to get good at, like, being able to go out and build something. Be like, "Hey man, we need an ottoman for the living room." Like, I just want to go build it. And my dad was that way. Like, I come from a family of, like, my dad, my grandfather, even both of my uncles now, they all upholstered furniture. And like, it's kind of a dying art. Like, not a lot of people do that. So like, that's something that I want to like get good at. It's kind of like a Davis family thing that everybody can upholster furniture. I'm not there yet. So picked up woodworking and upholstery. And then also too, like, I love to fish. So like, when it wasn't hunting season, like I was trying to fish, and then that was the first hunting season that I really had because we're usually on the road for the fall. And last year I was able to go to my hunting camp and get to spend some time with some buddies that I hunted with that I didn't get to see the last 3 or 4 years because we were playing shows. It was kind of just getting to do like things that I was doing before music, just kind of getting to enjoy those.
Wow, that's so cool. And woodworking is something I actually took up myself. I
No,
Yeah, and it's the same way. It's my mom. My mom is a retired lawyer, and she's living her best life right now because what she does is she lives back east, so there's a bunch of auctions and just like places, warehouses filled with old furniture, and she'll buy it for, pennies on the dollar. She'll take it
yeah,
home and totally bring it back to life. We're talking sanding, repainting, new knobs, correcting, fixing things that are broken, and she'll get it for $2 and be able to convert it into something she's selling for $300. And
and kind of like what you said, like there's obviously like a lot of money to be made into it, but like that, going and finding an old piece of furniture or an old, nightstand and restoring it and bringing it back. But like, I think one of the cool things I remember seeing with my dad was people would bring in these, and you talk about, doing what you love. Like my dad loves furniture, like loves taking a piece of something that somebody was about to throw away and just turning it in, much like your mom. But like with my dad, it's like, nowadays, even with furniture, it's like you just throw it away and go buy something new. Like they make it so cheap that you don't need an upholsterer, but he'll have somebody bring in like a love seat that was like their great great grandmother's that is like about to just cave in. And then my dad like re-glues it, puts new springs in it, puts new fabric in it. And I've seen him go drop pieces of furniture off and the customer break down in tears just because like that piece of furniture had been in their family for hundreds of years. And my dad was able to like bring it back and like, have this new piece. And I remember walking in the house one time and like this lady starting to cry. And I was like, it's just a couch. What are you like? What are you crying at? I mean, like I was probably like 8 or 9 years old because my dad would take me with him, but I would just leave and be like, God, Dad, that lady was weird. Like she started crying when you brought the couch in. But I mean, it's special.
now you get it. And my mom had a similar thing. She went to the closing of a really old bowling alley in my hometown, really old, and they were selling old chairs, the old dining sets where it was all connected and you could spin. But she didn't want any of that. She bought a strip of bowling alley, of actual alley, and then she went to a junkyard and got these thick metal legs. She redid the bowling alley and made it into a dining room table about 8 feet long. And I went with her to her. She rented out a space at a store. I went with her, and I loved dropping things off. But it was like run by somebody else. You would rent the space, and so you'd never really see your stuff get sold. You would just show up 2 days later after the weekend, and you would see how much you made.
Yeah.
And as we're leaving, a couple is looking at the table. So I say, Mom, just hold on. Like, stay right here. And we find out that they're buying their very first house together. They're engaged, and they met in middle school at a bowling alley.
Come on, man.
Like you can't make this up, right?
It gives you chill bumps.
Right. And that was, oh gosh, that was 15 years ago easily, and I still think about that to this day because it's just like a piece of furniture that my mom spent so much time and love and concentration in. And then when she heard about their story, she cut the price in half. All right, take it. You just take it. Go ahead. Because it's about their reaction that makes all the difference. I just did a project in quarantine that I had been wanting to do. I don't know if you're on Pinterest, but I got on Pinterest. It's the greatest thing, most underrated thing on earth.
Especially for woodworking, dude. They have some amazing things.
My fiance was telling me, Jeff, get on Pinterest. You're going to love it. And me, quick to judge. I'm like, isn't that for like wedding dresses or like right. Like, isn't it for arts and crafts? No, it's like the woodworking side of it is epic. So I saw projects of piano bars, literally bars made out of pianos. And I grew up playing piano. I've played since I was 5 years old. and I've always wanted to build one of these. So me and my fiance are buying a house, so I said, I got a garage, let's do it. And I took a broken upright piano I bought for $50, and I cut it down, and I created a bar top within it using only the wood that was from it, and repainted it, stained it, everything, and now it's a bar in my house right now.
Dude, that's sick, man.
I'll send you pictures after the pod, and I'll show it up in the video. It
I want
is
to see that. That's cool.
my pride and joy. It was a fun project to get to do with my fiance. You know, she was part of the painting, and she was all about it. And I told her, this is something I've always wanted to do. And I created a barn door in our house. So like, I gotta share. We gotta do some woodworking together,
Dude,
Jordan Davis.
I'm serious, man. Let's do it, dude. I love it. I know like Combs is kind of in the woodworking game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's a lot of us over here that are amateur woodworkers.
Trying to make something happen. I actually tried to make a TikTok video about it. Like, watch me make a barn door in under $250. And then after I bought all the tools I needed, it ended up being like $650. So I had to change the video a little bit. But so are you actively, like, have you done a project that you're super proud of, a woodworking project that you like hold high above others?
Yeah. So we have a patio in our backyard, and I just like, which kind of what started the whole thing. It was like I was just gonna build a patio table, like, you know, like to me it's kind of like, yeah, I always think of like furniture as like something that, you know, I guess because of my dad, like that, like we talked about earlier, that gets passed down. So I have a patio table that I want to like just continue to move from house to house, and then me and my dad got together and built our spare, you know, we're running out of room here at the house now because we got another one coming in September. So our guest bedroom is my daughter's room now, and then my son, who'll be here in September, he's taking the nursery. So we're out of bedrooms, and so we just built like a day bed in a bonus room we have. So me and my dad got together and built that, which is really cool. And it was with him. It's upholstered, and like it's pretty cool. So those are my two like top things. I've built like a lot of really like poorly built stuff for like our duck camp that doesn't have to look good. So it's just like 2x4s tacked together. But those are like the two best that I would like show a picture of.
No, I totally get that. Like in our old place before we moved into our new house, I built this not floating shelf, but a large garage shelf. It was like 8 feet long, super supported into the studs, and it looks like a piece of crap, but it's totally like it's fitted, it's perfect, it's custom. Like, but no, I'm not gonna paint that. All right, it's 2x4. I found most of them on the street. I could have done it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's talk about, you know, September. This is huge.
Yeah, man. I couldn't have picked a worse time to go on a headlining tour, but it is what it is. But yeah, we're expecting our second kiddo. September 2nd's the due date. But I was actually just talking to my wife, and we were saying how I would be shocked if we get there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like this was gonna come early. Who knows? But early, late, as long as it's healthy and healthy mama, healthy baby, I'm good. But yeah, if I were to bet, I would say it's gonna come early. So yeah, we're gonna be busy in September.
Yeah, for some perspective, we're recording this on August 3rd. It's gonna release on August 10th. So I doubt we'll have baby number 2 August 10th.
Let's hope later than that. But yeah.
Absolutely. Jordan Davis on with us. Jordan, you've talked a lot about your dad on this podcast. Man, I've talked a lot about my mom on this podcast. And I don't want to get too deep and put the pressure on you, but you know, I'm engaged. I'm set to get married in April. And if there's one thing I've always known in my life, it's that I want to be a dad. I've looked up to my dad so much. And you know, it sounds cheesy, but you only know your parents as parents. Like, you never knew them before, obviously, right? So for you, growing up with your dad, and was there a lesson that he taught you when you were getting ready to be a dad that you keep with you every single day, that you feel like this is gold advice for anybody looking to be a dad one day?
Man, you know, it sounds terrible to say this, but like anytime I would go to my dad, you know, about any type of advice, especially with parenting, it's like, you know, what do you expect? Like, Dad, what do I need to expect here? What I need to And even, my dad or my brother, which is like the two guys I would go to for that. My brother's got three girls. My dad had three kids. So it's like, and this is like the worst piece of advice, but you'll then get it once it happens. He would just say, "Son, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out." And like at the time when you asked it, whatever you're asking for at the time, it almost makes you mad. It wants to be like, "That's the stupidest answer that I've ever heard in my life." Like, Dad, what does that even mean? And then you get to the moment, like you get to what you're asking advice for, and you figure it out. Like it really is like this. I really do believe, like you saying you want to be a dad. It's like I was the same way. Like I wanted to be a dad. I want to have a big family. And then you start reading all these books and you start trying to do that, and then you're just like, I think I got this. Like I think I'll, you know, be able to handle it. So that's a terrible answer to that question. But like as I've gotten more into fatherhood, I don't approach things so dire anymore. I'm just like, you know what? We got thrown a few curveballs early on, and we got through them. We figured it out, and we're about to have another kid as I'm starting a tour, and still working on new music, and I'm gonna figure it out. Like that's just there's no other option. So I
I
don't know.
think, hey, I think that's great advice. And I have a godson. My sister just had her first baby in January, and that was an
It's awesome.
honor in itself. I was did not. It's the only niece or nephew I have, so I didn't know how it works. When do you ask? Who do you ask? Like, I thought you had to ask somebody who was married already. I didn't know. So like
Yeah.
she sprung it on me. I flew to Chicago to meet her baby, and I'm holding him, and she says, "We got a question for you," and I just lost it. It was beautiful. But now my sister and my brother-in-law are getting ready to buy a house. They're living with my folks for the time being. And it's so funny talking to my parents, and I'm sure you get this too, because there's so much more information available now about being a parent than when our parents were parents
Yeah.
or parents of young kids. So my sister has an app. You click when he goes down to a nap, and you click when he wakes up. She has an app for breastfeeding. She has an app for eating. Literally everything. And my mom's like, looking like, we just figured it out, right?
Dude, like that's and two, it's like somebody told me it. I guess it's like having a child, like you can like look back on, and we're late to the game. So like, I'm 33. I've got another one on the way. When my dad was 33, he was trying to get a business started and had three kids, one of them being six. So it's like, I like think back on that. I'm like, wait a second. Like it's terrible to say, but like I'm in a better position professionally than my dad was, and he got through it. Like, it's like to where now it's like, how do I better on it? And that's what, like, even my dad, I got to see my dad this past weekend. You know, he was just saying how proud he is of like me and Jacob in the way that, and it wasn't like a bad thing, but it's like I love seeing you guys become dads. And y'all are doing a better job than I was doing it when we were at. Now, granted, I'm sure he was doing a great job, but it's like it's probably hard for him to say like, I was crushing it. I was like, you kids had it, But like, as a dad, and this his son, and now like, I consider my dad just as much a friend as I do a father. Uh, it's just a cool thing to hear. Because sometimes I think like, what am I doing, man? Like I hadn't seen my daughter. We're on the road. We're doing the tour. But it's like that's what the world is. That's what my life is right now, and we'll get through it whenever we get through it. And it just makes for more special time whenever you actually are at home and we get to all hang together.
No doubt. Jordan, what I love about doing this podcast is I I always have been doing radio for a while. I always come prepared with some idea, and then something just takes us in a totally different direction. We talked woodworking, we talked parenting, fatherhood, all of this. But at the very beginning of the show, I talked about you having an incredible career moment that our buddy Ransom Garcia and myself got to be a part of the first time you found out you had a number one record.
Yeah, man. God, that was wild.
You were in Las Vegas. It was ACM weekend 2019? Nope, 2018 maybe?
18.
18, yep. And you were at the bar. And we were all drinking beers together, and
It was losers, wasn't it? Losers in Vegas.
Losers, yep, losers in Vegas. I mean, could you have picked, minus maybe being at home with mom, dad, like the whole family, second best place might be in Vegas with the people who worked with you to make your career what it is today, and some fun radio guys.
Dude, it really, like, you couldn't draw that up any better. Like, you know, because I got to see, you know, y'all were right there when, like, we literally just had got the text message. Like, it was brand new. You know, that's just like it's that I'll never, they've all been special. Like, they've all been amazing things to get the text or the call for somebody saying, like, hey, you got a number one song. Like, you know, but that first one, it's just a little bit sweeter. And like you said, you know, to be there with my promotion team at Universal MCA, to be there with the head of my label who ended up coming there that night, and I got to walk up to him and say, hey, I just got my first number one song. And like, and then to be there with radio who makes number one songs. Like, that's, you know, that's how we get to celebrate that. You know, there could be a better place, you know, when you find out you have a number one song, the last place you want to be is by a blackjack table. But that was where we were at. So, like, you know,
that must have been a fun conversation with the wife. Yeah, we're celebrating. Okay, I got to tell you about the money we put down, though.
Now, let me tell you, take half of what we were supposed to make. It's gone. It's all
gone. Oh my gosh.
No, it was a special night.
Yeah.
Man, still remember being in there, you know, celebrating few too many shots, but hey, you only get it once, you know, first time once. So right. It's like, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of artists, you know, you yourself have seen a lot of success, but I think the George Straits of the world, the Garth Brooks of the world would say that the first is a little bit sweeter, because just the look on your face, you know, that's when I had just entered country music 2 months, maybe a month prior to that. And seeing the look on your face, that was my first experience of celebrating a number one with an artist, and seeing how much it meant to you. You know, this isn't, I know it sounds silly, but it's not a job, right? It's a passion. We do what you love, and you call it work, you know? Like, yeah, okay, it's a job. You bring home a paycheck. Absolutely, you got to feed the family, 100%. Me too. But it's also a passion. It's your life. It's your blood. It's in you to be a music artist. So to see that look on your face was just, it was a cool moment. It was beautiful.
No, it is. It's a lot of work that had paid off, you know, and you know, you never know too. It's like, even now with every song that gets there, you know, I've had singles that I now I know how hard it is to get a number one song. It's like, you know, my last single, I thought it was a great song. Thought it had a shot, but it's hard to get those. Like, they're not easy. It takes an army. It takes right timing. It takes everything. And so, yeah, they're special things.
Jordan, I can't thank you enough for joining us. Seriously, I could do another half an hour with you, because you're just one of those guys, and we root for you in country music just because you've shown us so much love, so much respect and grace and passion, and that means a lot to us. And even doing this show, it means a whole lot to me as well. And I'm wishing you all the best. We'll have you back in Vegas soon.
Hey, man, let's do this again.
Yeah.
We'll do it again soon, hopefully. But yeah, can't wait to get back to Vegas and see you guys in person and get to hang. Hopefully we celebrate another number one here before too long.
That's what I want to hear. I think Buy Dirt's going to be it. I'm calling it now. All right, we're releasing on August 10th, 2021. Let's see how long it takes. Good luck on tour this fall. Good luck as well with this beautiful baby boy. Hope everybody is happy and healthy. That's what's most important. And Thanks again. We'll talk soon. All right, brother?
Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you very much, buddy.
You're the man.
All right.